What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well, and if you're new here, I'm sorry. I'm not a guitar channel. I'm supposed to be an adventurous vlog channel that just talks about whatever's on his mind, at least daily, and I don't ever do that. And somehow we always talk about guitars. Speaking of guitars in my hand, I'll be noodling on, maybe, my Epiphone SL with the toaster pickups. We need to raise them closer to the strings. They're just too weak to be so far away, and one of these days when I do make that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you've owned an Epiphone SL, you know what I'm talking about. Very, very nice playing guitar. I guess I got lucky. A lot of people didn't like them when they came out. I got lucky. I haven't really done anything except for change the strings whenever needing. I cleaned up the nut slots and added new pickups, which I kind of wish I hadn't, but I think it gives it a vibe, and they do sound great. They got a nice 70s classic rock vibe to them. They just aren't close enough to the strings. I got to fidget with the damn amp. Speaking of which, I'm using my Blackstar Studio 10 with the 6L6 tubes. Let's get started. Right now, I'm just searching generic electric guitar, you know. A lot of times, I'll even try to put in... I'll try to think of the people who don't quite know the guitar lingo. Full-size guitar, you know, stuff like that. Tips and tricks we'll talk at another time if you really want to. If you have any tips or tricks down below, specific misspellings that have worked for you in the past, those usually can pull up some really cool stuff. But let's just talk about what I have here in front of me. Maybe we'll search specific brands or something. Either way, let's have some fun. Samick Les Paul copy. There was a shop in Malden, Massachusetts called, I want to say it was called Sterling Music, but I could be way off on that. But Samick was their vibe, and they used to really try to sell it. They had this one, it was a Warlock copy, and every time I would play it, it was okay, you know. I mean, it was what it was. But the guy would be so proud about how, you know, Samick makes Ibanez and stuff like that. And it's true. You know, the Samick factory makes so many different guitars brands that you wouldn't even imagine. Much like the Court. Unless they're the same now. I don't know. I don't know if they ever were the same, or all you guys that know all about the input goings on, let me know. But you know what? I kind of wish I hadn't passed up on some of these Samicks. Now, this is one of the Greg Benton guitars. That was a little bit after when I was looking. This was a very specific line to not rebrand Samick, but to bring it, you know, a little bit more of a, not so much of a budget guitar, though they were budget, but a lot of them were really nice guitars, and I've loved this headstock. They have an SG style guitar that just looks killer. Looks killer. $200 for this? Absolutely. The only thing I would say is, you know, I mean, this is nitpicking, but if this is photo, then I would leave it alone. But if it's an actual veneer, rad. Nice looking guitar, nice sunburst. It's not clowny. $200, solid Les Paul style thing going on here. We're not going to look at every guitar. I'm not going to look at every guitar. Memphis, man. Memphis used to make some really nice stuff way back in the day. $100 for this? That's not bad. Kind of like a Kramer vibe, you know. It's called the S2T. Well, I couldn't even read that. I believe. I think these would have a sticker on the neck plate, I believe, that would tell you what the model was. But it was like a paper sticker, so they always wore off. They always wore off. No issues, plays fine. Try before you buy. Check reverb prices. Guys, when you're selling or buying, don't check prices of shit that's on sale. Try to find the already sold within a certain time period. Go for sold prices, and then work from there. And use that. Use that in negotiation, not to be a jerk. Just be like, look, I know you want $500 for this thing, but the last month they've been selling for like $350. Can we work something out here? You know, meet me in the middle. There's a good tip for you. Willing to deliver if not too far away. Bedford? I'd probably have to meet him halfway. That's not too far, but it's kind of a pain to get to. Those DiMaggios? See, I don't know a lot about Memphis, so I don't know if whatever's in here is kind of a stock deal, and maybe they'll look like DiMaggios, because this is kind of a Kramer vibe. Though Kramer used Seymour Duncan in there. Was it Schaller? What was the name of the? It began with an S. Someone tell me in the comments below. Wink, wink. You see what I did there? I just prompted for activity. Algorithm loves that shit. I love that headstock, man. That headstock looks violent. So wait a minute. Do we have the back? Oh, of course it's blurry, right? Of course it's blurry. But usually they would have like a little rectangular sticker somewhere around here that would tell you the model, and that's probably where they got it from. Or they looked at Reverb and just looked at a guitar that was very similar. Look at this thing. Oh, look at that fretboard. Oh, no. Oh, no, that thing's going to need a lot of love. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but I got a couple of guitars in the spare room over there. The necks look like that. I can't wait to clean them and see if they even come through. I bought this on an impulse from the marketplace and only used it a handful of times. Very cool, but I don't need it. Do we really need any of it? One or two guitars should be more than enough, but not for us. Look at it, it's not a bad finish. Oh, shoot. It's not a bad finish. Gosh darn it. You know what I'm thinking this is? I bet you this was a kit guitar someone put together. Is that a real bone nut, or is it just dirty plastic? Interesting. I bet you this was a kit guitar, or a Chinese parts caster, so to speak. Not bad. The finish actually looks pretty cool. A couple of, I would hit it with some, wet sanding, maybe another shot of clear, buff it out. Bet you that would look great. Look at the Dragonfire pickups. I'm pretty sure. I don't think those are real Duncans. I don't think they're real Duncans. They could be Duncan design. It could be anything, They could be. All right, I was just about to say dirty words there. I'm going to try not to do that in this channel. Squire 51. What a great guitar. Squire and Fender, please, for the love of God, bring these back at the same quality. I remember when these were $99, much like these were when they first came out. They were fire selling these things, and they were the first and I believe second run of these. They were amazing. Amazing guitars. And I hate to say this because I know it's a cliche, they punched well above their weight class. And it was kind of a fun deal. The bridge left a little bit to be desired, and the pickups sounded fine. I mean, it was a modding platform. This was supposed to emulate kind of what like pawn shop, Frankenstein together guitars would be. And I believe they had a bass version of this too. And I believe Fender had a copy too. Interesting controls, just one volume, and this here switched between the two pickups. Really cool guitars. Really cool guitars. I remember falling in love with a Butterscotch Blackguard. And I had a black one with a white guard that I did sell when I was in Arizona before I moved back. This guitar, I'm not the biggest Dave Mustaine fan, which is funny because I'm actually thinking about getting his Thrash Factor pickups for the Chi SP, which we will be getting to that review. I'm actually doing a, not thorough, but more than what I normally do, sitting here playing it and talking about it. Because there's a lot of really neat things and kind of weird things I want to go over with that guitar. So it's going to be a lot more in-depth than what I'm used to doing or what you're used to seeing over here. But back to this Bad Larry. I played this exact model with the same graphic and everything in a guitar shop, God, when they first came out, really. And I got to tell you, I don't know if it was a one-off deal or whatever, the thing played, felt amazing, it sounded beautiful, it sang. Dave Mustaine, he's a stickler for a lot of his stuff, and even the import stuff. I'm sure he's like, look, we need to keep it at a budget, but I don't want these poor bastards to be, left out in the rain. Potentially trade for Dave Mustaine, Angel of Death, 70s. That's kind of specific. I wish I had one. I'd grab this in a heartbeat. Great guitar. It's kind of silly looking, Dave Mustaine using an Explorer style. Kind of seems like he's kind of, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Looking up to his buddy, Mr. Het. It is what it is, whatever. Also needs wah pedals, distortion, noise gate, looper pedals, maybe a new amp, etc. I love looking at offers. 7-string. Where were you like 2 weeks ago? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm much happier with the Elk Skull Chi SP. Great guitar. If you can get one of these at a decent deal, I highly recommend them. Highly. I'm not much of a Dean guy. What the hell is that? Is that Yamaha? I think that red one's a Yamaha. Let me see if there's a headstock. The Ibanez is alright. I keep doing that. My apologies, folks. Oh, man. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, it looks like a Yamaha. These are pretty wacky. I've never played it. I have no idea what they sound like. I don't even know what they play well. Pretty wacky looking guitars. 400, 250 for each. 250 is not bad for at least this. You get yourself a nice vintage piece. Yamaha makes quality stuff, man. I've had a Pacifica, and I got my dad's Yamaha. Look at this, $95. Washburn. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of ugly. It's kind of like the N4, but not. Nuno Betancourt, born and raised in the town next door. As a matter of fact, Gary Sharon, and his twin brother grew up here in Melrose. And here's a fun fact, if you're watching still. I'm actually in the Mama Don't Wanna Go to School Today. They filmed that in front of my middle school, which that building doesn't exist anymore. They built a newer one in 2007 because that one was built in the 50s or something. And it wasn't accommodating anymore for modern students. I don't know. I think they just wanted friggin' air conditioning, which is rightful so, because the high school next door certainly had it. But these I used to pick on a lot until I got one. If you can get the right one, these things are pretty fun. They're pretty fun, especially if you convert it over to a P90. $50. I don't know if I want to drive down to Providence. It's about an hour drive. I drove 2 hours for the other thing, but that was a quality guitar. We'll get to that. $50 for this is a screaming deal, though. It's a screaming deal. Even if the neck is messy, the body and everything, you can get necks all day long for these. But fun guitars, really fun guitars. Some of them made of wood, some of them plywood. It's kind of like throwing a dice. Is this a Donner? Yeah, it is. It's a Donner. Selling this guitar for $100. I was actually looking at one of these last night. Somehow I came across Trogley's video of his Donner review. And that was a nice looking guitar. The first thing I would do is, and with the Epiphone Specials too, if you get rid of the polka chip, it kind of loses that cheaper vibe, It goes into almost Melody Maker territory, which I'm a big fan of. And I was saying to myself like a month or two ago, I wonder if I should become the Melody Maker guy, because you can get some really nice vintage pieces at reasonable prices. I just love that vibe. Why do you think I love this thing so much? It's basically a Melody Maker. It's exactly what it is, and that's what they're actually calling them now. I love Melody Makers. I'd love to get my hands on one. I'd love to get my hands on a single cut and put a P90 in it, get a poor man's Junior. That is ugly. I remember when these came out, right? It's Washburn, right? We're not going to listen to this guy play. Is this Washburn? I'm pretty sure these were made by Washburn. Whether or not this specific one was branded Washburn, or it could just be just Chinese guitar. I love these. I can't wait. I say I love them. I want to try one of these trems. I had grandeur or delusions of putting it on the Hetfield guitar over here. First Act, baby. I love them. $50. They're solid. They're solid guitars. They're a lot more. I would put a lot of these First Acts over Squier and lower end Epiphones all day long. At least the ones I have. Again, maybe I'm getting lucky. And this is the G clef, I think they call that, headstock style. I can't remember. The world of First Act goes real deep, and those guys take this stuff seriously. And I'm part of a couple of the groups. Really good people, fun, knowledgeable. And First Act was a Massachusetts company, a couple towns over, called Somerville. These were nice guitars. These were really fun. And if I had the $350 or even close to it, I would make them an offer. The pewter gray looks great. This was a fun line. I was glad when Squier did something like this to compete with the Ibanez market and the Jackson market and stuff like that, Because Fender, it's so weird. Fender, rightfully so, sticks to their roots. But since everyone took their design and hot rodded it, it's like I don't know why they didn't embrace it more. I mean, they did embrace it. It's just, I think they need to really embrace it, do like a 50, the modern and the classic, or inspired by, that whatever it is that Gibson does now, original and inspired by. Ooh, 250 P90 Thunderbird. Absolutely, electric guitar works and sounds as it should. This sounds to me like someone who bought it was either going to try to learn, or someone in the house was trying to learn, and they just never did it. It sat in a corner somewhere and just looked great during. Newport's a nice area. Plum Island. My buddy has a cottage there. I grew up going to that cottage. The last 2 weeks of August. His birthday was at the end of August. Him and his twin brother, and they were on the beach. We would go up there for like 2 weeks, unsupervised. Gen X rules. His dad would drop us off with a bunch of food. Each one of our parents would give us a few bucks to go down to the convenience store and get whatever. More first act. More first act. I don't know if I would give $75 for this. This is a great guitar. I've played a few of these. These are great for, look at all this material to work with, as a modding platform, a painting platform. The pickups just look so Fisher-Price to me. It sounds good, though. It sounds good. Oh, I know. Oh, that's reverb. We're not going to go into reverb. Curious about this one. He wants $800 for everything. Well, this thing back here looks interesting. Acoustic guitar. What is this in the background? This Strat looks kind of plywoody. Not that that's wrong. I got a whole bunch of guitars over here to play. Look at that bass. What friggin' mojo. Look at the wallpaper. Can I have the wallpaper? Look at this guitar, man. There's a lot of really cool stuff here. Unfortunately, it's got more acoustics than I care to even worry about. Yeah, I'm all set with all the acoustics. You can maybe this one. This one's kind of cool. I dig the inlays on that one. Yeah, it's too bad. OCC guitar. What a scam. I actually almost contacted this guy when I was trading the Chibanez. This has a vibe that I really wanted to clean up and really... You know what I wanted to put in this? There was a pickup set that I bought in the late 90s for my SG. It was the Tony Iommi signature. They had the chrome fully covered, no poles or no adjustment screws exposed at all. And they sounded amazing. A nice mid-crunch. They had something very unique to them, and I loved it. I wish I'd taken them out and put back the dirty fingers that were in. It was in the SG, a 78 walnut. The SG. According to the serial number in Gibson, I called them about it. They told me they were velvet brick pickups, but I think they were dirty fingers. I think they had double pole pieces. I'd have to look at pictures. But that was the original pickups that were in it. What a cool vibe, man. What a cool rustic vibe. Oh, the Buzz Fenton tuning system. I mean, it is what it is. I remember when that was a big deal. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I almost contacted them. I know I contacted this guy. Never even got back to me. There's so many black Strats on the planet. Do we really need more black Strats? Are they really that popular? SX makes some good stuff. Don't turn your back to those either. Ooh, that's lickable. Oh man, that's cool. I don't know if 350 is a good price. I would say it's probably average. Probably average. Here we go. Look at this. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. How much does he want for it? Doesn't say. Make offers. Oh, this guy. I think this guy used to have a music shop. And things went south. I wouldn't mind that special too. To play around with anyway. I think this cat had a music shop. Or he just liked collecting a whole lot of stuff for whatever reason. Because there's tons of stuff with him. Multiple different guitars and all kinds of, whatever. But I think I contacted this guy too. Where's this one at? Nope, it wasn't this guy. Excuse me. It's funny, that two of these white 7-string Schecters came up. What are they? Diamond? I don't know. What are they? Yeah, Demon 7. A couple of these came up on the same week. Like exact models. And I contacted both of them, and I couldn't remember. What was up. That's a pretty cool looking guitar. I love these 70s, 80s copy guitars. I don't like saying lawsuit. People use the word lawsuit too much. See this right here? This is why it's not a lawsuit era, okay? The lawsuit era really only applies to the headstock of the guitar, not the shape of the body. I mean, they did go after that in a way, but for the most part, it was about the headstock design, honestly. You know, people sit there and they'll have an Ibanez Flying V, but it won't have the, I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. It's your guitar. You can be wrong, but yeah, okay. So that looks like it. I contacted this guy, and I think he really wanted to, but he's just not into the 7-string thing, and that's why he was trying to get rid of this. So I wouldn't have minded this. I was actually looking to check the 6 strings. I mean, it's a little beater, but and even he says it, yo. Oh, shit. I didn't get much sleep last night. So, alright, so it looks like, what is that? $300, selling my great condition. Atlas electric guitar. See pictures for specs. Guitar is upgraded with Bill Lawrence. I had like 3 or 4 Bill Lawrence pickups from way back in the day. I have no idea what happened to him. We might be doing something similar to a Bill Lawrence, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, here pretty soon for a very specific black and orange guitar. That's where we're leaning, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Rockland, Mass. I've never heard of this. This is wicked. Locking tuners? That's wicked. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to look that up later on and see what the deal is with the hubbub. Excuse me. I'd offer this guy $25, $30. The 222. Yeah, I guess that's it. Misfits guitar. Is it modern Misfits? Then I don't consider that Misfits. If you're still a big fan, what does that say? What is it? Autograph Pro. So is this guitar literally made for the purpose of having it signed and sold? Or was it like, that kind of looks like a Squier body, an older Squier body with how weirdly rounded and jot that is and thin. I bet you that's a Squier body that someone refinished. Got a couple of signatures, because this looks like a stencil. And this looks like just haphazard airbrush or even rattle can. I mean, it's got the signatures and that's cool, but $5,000? You're out of your flipping mind, kid. Where is this? Where is this thing? Medford? Cambridge. Yeah, I don't know. A COA. I mean, I could rip up one of those too. Interesting. I have no doubt that it's authentic, but I'm not seeing $5,000 in any of that, even for a Misfits fan. I did contact this guy. I remember when these came out. What an interesting guitar. And I even told him I don't care about the signatures. I remember correctly. Yeah, Nuno. I believe they said that it's Extreme that signed this. I can't remember. Front paint, Washburn. Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, okay, no. I have to read. I have to learn how to read again. This was signed by Nuno, and it hung in their factory for a while. So it's a cool piece, don't get me wrong. There could be 100 things going on with it, though, from just hanging like that, not being used. Maybe this guy took care of that. Maybe he should offer me a drink. I don't know. But either way, that is a rad-looking guitar. And I would love to own one of these. In any finish, honestly. It's just such a... It's got that 50s vibe, that deco. Art Deco, I think they call it. Art Deco. All right, I think we're just going to leave it there. We're starting to run on and on and on and on. Oh, okay, we'll look at one more. Look at that beautiful guitar. Oh, yeah. Harmonica bridge. I love what Ibanez does when they do stuff like this. Solid, tone, block, metal. It's a little beater, but you know what? It's got that vibe. It's got the, how much does he want? 400. Has a case. Okay, there you go. I mean, the least you could do is string it up, bro. I saw that there wasn't a nut, though, huh? Let's see. Gently used Ibanez Artist. A buddy of mine, I had one of these in for repair a long time ago when I was living in Arizona. God, almost 20-something years ago. And it was the dude's dad's guitar. His dad had passed away. And it was just sat in the case. And he's like, can you clean it up and make sure the electronics work and everything? And his dad, I guess, was tinkering with it. So I had to rewire the thing. And it played beautiful. Sounded awesome. And it felt so good in the hands. Okay, let's get a beautiful picture up while I read. Gently used Ibanez Artist electric guitar, some minor cosmetic wear. Nothing interferes with. I love when people say that. It just doesn't interfere with the sound or the playability. Cosmetics wouldn't. Unless, of course, it's a headstock break and you never fixed it. Pickups sound great. They could be DiMaggio's. I wonder if they're vintage DiMaggio's. That right there alone, now I'm going into Trogly style territory. Could be worth some money if they're actually DiMaggio. If those are super distortions, absolutely. They could be worth a few bucks in of themselves. Pickups sound great. Well cared for? Yeah, I guess so. It's not completely beat up. It's used. It definitely saw some road time, I'm sure. Updated pictures to come. Recently cleaned, polished, and strung. Did we see any of those pictures yet? No. All right. I got this guitar some years ago from a good friend of mine. I had the intentions of playing it. I'm looking for cash. For some extra cash. But looking for cash for some extra cash. I totally get it. $400 firm. I don't know what the market is on these, but I would say that's fair. It's not a great deal, but I'd say that was really fair. And if these are DiMaggio's, then it would be a great deal. The only thing I didn't like about them is this. With the double cutaways, I hate it when they put the pocket chip in the thing up here. I always like to get rid of the pocket chip so it's a little less. I prefer pocket chips like on Les Paul guitars. When I got my Tribute, it didn't come with it on it. That was the first thing I did. Put it on it. I think it just looks better. It just has that Les Paul vibe. But when these aren't down here on a double cutaway, what a beautiful guitar. Oh, wow. Japanese made, set neck, mahogany, maple. I bet you that's a real maple cap, too. God, what a great guitar. All right, guys. Well, we're going to leave it at that. We had a little bit of fun. We didn't, we didn't go too deep. I thought we were going to go deeper than that, but I think this video is running on a little bit long. What was your favorite? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you always for watching. I genuinely appreciate it. Look forward to the somewhat in-depth review of the GSP. I don't know if I said this in the beginning or not, but I'm actually going to go a little more in-depth in it. Not too much. I'm not going, again, full Trogly, but normally I put the guitar in my hand, and I'm like, yeah, hey, this guitar sounds good. And I give you your goods and the bads while I'm playing. But there's some wacky and cool and fun stuff going on with that. I'm happy I grabbed it. I really am. And I can't wait to make it 100%. So guys, let me know in the comments what you thought. Thumbs up, thumbs down, all feedback. Sure, the creep is positive. The subscriptions, the bells, the ding-a-ling-dings, do it all. Do it now. And until next time, I hope you're doing well. Take care. Creep it real. Keep jamming, guys. And bye-bye.